All right, so Angus says, I watched your video. Thanks, those are helpful planning my RV trip in the Southern. Can you give me an itinerary for 2 weeks road trip in the Southern, just like your video for Northern itinerary? Thanks. All right. Well, that's a very polite way to ask a question. So yes, of course we can.
We like polite ways of asking questions.
All right. So let's get that and let's help Angus. I'm pretty sure I'm destroying your name, sorry, but let's help him or her. I think it's him.
Angus.
Plan your trip. So 2 weeks on the Southern. So let's write everything down and then we go through everything in detail. Christchurch. That's probably where you're gonna be starting. Then Kaikoura. Nelson. And Abel, Tasman, just dot next to it.
Yep.
Pukaki, Franz Joseph, Wanaka, Queenstown, Milford Sound, Mount Cook, Geraldine, and back to Christchurch. All right.
Sweet.
Cool. So Angus, pay attention. Here we go. Do you want to change color for the right? I like when we do two different colors.
Yeah, make it colourful and pretty.
All right, cool. So I think you're gonna arrive in Christchurch because that's probably what everybody does on the Southern end, starting their trip in Christchurch. But if you don't start it in Christchurch, you probably will start it in Picton because that's where you arrive from the Northern end, or in Queenstown right here. But for the purpose of this video, let's say you start in Christchurch, but again, all those dots are on the map, so you can definitely go around. So when you arrive in Christchurch, get yourself into your RV, check in there, make sure that everything is working well, and check out all the videos about which RV companies you should be taking, as well as our tips on renting a camper van in New Zealand. We have a full video about that. And once you've done that, you make your way toward Kaikoura. Kaikoura is probably one of the best wildlife places in the country, with seal swimming, whale watching, bird watching. You have the sea, the mountain. It's absolutely gorgeous and there is so much to do here. So you're probably going to want to spend at least one day here in order to do all those tours. One of my favorite wildlife activities to do in New Zealand is seal swimming, and it's almost only available in Kaikoura. So here you go, Kaikoura. Then you make your way toward Nelson. Laura, tell us about Nelson.
Okay, so Nelson. Yeah, you're gonna go into it. So Nelson is. We have just talked extensively about Nelson, but it is good for what's in the city. Oh, it's got lots of really awesome museums to go check out. There's a World of Wearable Art Museum. There's a classic car museum. It's also got some really lovely beaches like Tahuna Nui Beach. That's really awesome as well. And there's a lot of biking you can do. So there's, if you're into mountain biking, there's the Dun Mountain. But if you're into more relaxed biking, you can do a bike trail to Rabbit Island, or you can do a multi-day biking trail, which is the Great Taste Trail, where you stop along the way at various eateries and vineyards and breweries along the way as well. So there's a lot of different stuff to do in Nelson, and a lot of sort of like city type things to do, but it's in the sunniest city in New Zealand. So yeah, that's pretty much Nelson in a nutshell. And then after that, you will be going to the Abel Tasman National Park. This national park is known for its beautiful golden sand beaches, beautiful lush green forest, and there's loads of different activities you can do there. You can get out on the water and do a sailing trip or a kayaking tour or another type of boat tour. You can also do some hiking. There's one of the great walks there, which is the Abel Tasman Coastal Track, or you can just do a taster of that track by doing a day walk there, and then one of the water taxi companies can come and pick you up. So there's a lot of different options there as well. So that's really awesome.
And then after this area right here, which we would suggest you have a couple of days for it, you want to go ahead toward Pukaki. Now, while heading toward Pukaki, you're going to pass through here. Like, there's no road where Laura drew it, but it's obviously just for a look, right? But you're going to pass through here, and there is the beautiful Nelson Lakes. So this would be a day drive, and it's definitely worth doing it in a day. You can stop at Lake Rotoriti, for example, which looks absolutely amazing. You've probably seen a lot of those pictures of a beautiful jetty with a placid lake and some mountains, and it is exactly where these pictures have been taken. Lake Rotoriti, definitely worth doing. And you're making your way through the west coast of New Zealand, which is called the Wild West Coast. It looks absolutely gorgeous. We love the west coast of the South Island. And you arrive in Pukaki. In Pukaki, there is something called the Pancake Rocks, which is basically some limestone formation that looks like a big stack of pancakes, and there is some blowholes in there. It's a really amazing place to go and especially at sunset, it has like really amazing colors and everything. So we definitely do love Pukaki. But it's not something where you're going to be spending many days. You just go there, you check it out, and you just sleep there, and then you head off straight away, and you're going to Franz Josef. So now there is Franz Josef and Spokes Glacier. So if the weather is bad and you cannot do anything in Franz Josef, you can definitely keep driving and go to Spokes Glacier right afterwards. Now, Laura, tell us about Franz Josef.
So Franz Josef is famous for its glacier there, one of the most accessible glaciers in the world. So it's just a 10-minute helicopter ride to actually go heli hiking on the glacier. You'll land on the glacier and you'll be given crampons and a nice warm jacket and stuff, and be taken around the glacier by a guide who will basically show you the magnificence of a giant river of ice. So there's usually caves that you can crawl through. It's an ever-changing environment. So there's loads of it. Like the whole tour is never exactly the same. But yeah, heli hiking is definitely an awesome thing to do in Franz Josef. But if another really cool thing to do is just a scenic flight over Franz Josef as well, because you'll be flying over the Southern Alps and you'll be seeing New Zealand's highest mountain, which is Aoraki Mount Cook, and you'll be seeing the Fox Glacier as well. So scenic flights are really awesome. You could also do a skydive there, which is probably one of the most scenic places to do a skydive in New Zealand. And
technically, when you do a skydive, you get a free sailing flight because the flight has to go up. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. There's also some hot pools there, and there's also quad biking tours there. So if you do get a bit of crappy weather, there's always backup activities to do as well. And there's horse riding, there's bushwalks, there's walks to the glacier face, the terminal face of the glacier. So there's a walk through the glacier valley, which is really cool as well. And there's lots of really cool places to eat and drink and be merry.
All right, so then we're moving on. So again, if you don't have good weather in Franz Josef, you can definitely go to Fox Glacier, which has much more open days. So even if the helicopter don't fly in Franz Josef on the same day, they can definitely be flying in Fox Glacier, which is 30-minute drive away. So make sure you keep that in mind and you have your backup plan. Then you head toward Wanaka. Wanaka is a really pretty place. There is a beautiful lake. There is that hashtag Wanaka tree that you've probably seen, that tree coming out of the water and everybody take the same picture in New Zealand. Well, you can do the same thing and take the same picture again as well. So yes, that's definitely worth doing in Wanaka. There is also something called Puzzling World. So if you're traveling with kids, they're gonna love Puzzling World. It's kind of like a maze, and there's a lot of optical illusions and all those kind of things. So it's really fun. We definitely do like Wanaka. And then after Wanaka, you head toward Queenstown. So before I let Laura tell you everything about Queenstown, one of your days in Queenstown, because you're going to want to spend multiple days in Queenstown, one of your days in Queenstown is going to be to hop in the bus and go, or hop in the bus or drive yourself, but we recommend the bus because you're going to be driving so much. And you go to Milford Sound, the 8th wonder of the world. It's absolutely gorgeous. You know already everything about Milford Sound if you started researching your trip, but it's a beautiful sound. You can do a cruise. The cruise is rather cheap. Usually we recommend to do the bus and cruise because they drive everything for you, so you can actually look at everything. There's a lot of places to stop along the way, and the bus does stop in a few places to take some awesome pictures. So definitely Milford Sound, that should be one of your days in Queenstown. You don't sleep in Milford Sound or anything like that. You stay in Queenstown, you do one day tour here. Now what else can you do in Queenstown?
Well, in Queenstown, it is known as the adventure capital of New Zealand. So it has all your adventure activities there. You can do bungee jumping, you could do skydiving, whitewater rafting. There's 5 different jet boat tours there. What else? There's zip lining as well. There's canyoning. Literally any type
whitewater rafting.
I already said
Ah.
that.
I mean, you go through the tunnel, you have to know that whitewater
But there are
rafting.
two whitewater rafting companies there, so you could go twice.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's literally so much to do. You can even take some scenic flights from Queenstown to Milford Sound. You can do helicopter tours. You can go to some hot pools. There's the onsen hot pools there as well. There's winery tours. I feel like there's everything you can think of to do in New Zealand, you can pretty much do in Queenstown. It's very much a super touristy town, so there's no lack of things to do there. Queenstown.
There is a lot to do in Queenstown.
There is. So you can definitely spend quite a few days there doing lots of different activities, but be warned that it's probably going to be the town which takes most of your money. So Robin is now checking.
I'm just, someone mentioned that, so I'm going to show it to everybody.
Okay, so after you've done your time in Queenstown, you can then move up to Aoraki Mount Cook.
Yeah, so Mount Cook is absolutely amazing. It's one of the hidden gems in New Zealand. And we call it hidden gem, despite the fact it's New Zealand's tallest mountain, just because not that many people go there, and we think it's one of the best places to go to. It has amazing night skies. I mean, some of the best night skies you will see in your whole life. You can actually see the Milky Way. Obviously, there is no clouds, but it's absolutely amazing. Now, in Mount Cook as well, there is another glacier called the Tasman Glacier. So if you couldn't do the glacier hikes right here because you're coming in winter and the weather is a bit iffy, the Tasman Glacier is much better weather, so you have much more chances to do that. It's really awesome to do, and there is also an amazing amount of hike. Plus, you're going to drive through, next to the beautiful lake Pukaki, if I'm saying it properly.
Pukaki, yeah.
Pukaki, yeah, I'm saying it properly. So Lake Pukaki, which is turquoise, absolutely gorgeous, definitely, absolutely worth seeing. Mount Cook is definitely a must-see when traveling for 2 weeks on the South End, that's for sure. Moving on to Geraldine, with amazing whitewater rafting. My favorite whitewater rafting in the country, actually. It's the most epic one. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so like Robin said, our favorite thing to do in Geraldine is go whitewater rafting on the Rangitata River, which is the only grade 5 year-round whitewater rafting trip in New Zealand. So if you have a real go big or go home mantra, then Rangitata rafts is definitely the way to go. Otherwise,
watch our video for that. You're gonna see how epic it is. Like seriously, watch our video of the Rangitata rafting. Yeah. Check it out. It's amazing.
Otherwise, other things to do there is a really cool horse trek with Peel Forest Horse Trekking. They do some lovely horse treks up mountains or along a river. You can also go, there's a really awesome canyoning company there. I think they do probably one of the most adventurous canyoning trips in New Zealand. There's also some beautiful walks in the Peel Forest area and in Talbot Forest, which is literally in the centre of Geraldine, and we do have a video on that as well, so make sure you check that one out. They have an observatory there, so if you missed doing some stargazing in Mount Cook, you could definitely go to the observatory in Geraldine. And that's about it.
And then you make your way to Christchurch and you are all done. So along the way, there is obviously a lot of pit stops that we haven't mentioned, and you can find all of them on BackpackerGuide.NZ. We'll put the link when we republish this video. We'll put the link below. But otherwise, you just put Southern and Itineraries in 2 weeks, and here you go. So there is some awesome pit stop like Thunder Creek Falls right here in between Franz Joseph and Wanaka. In here, there is going down from Queenstown to Milford Sound, there is the chasm right here. There is Lake Tekapo right here. So there is a lot of different pit stops along the way, but we thought that we just talk about the main things to do. But that, in our opinion, is the best itineraries to do on the South Island for 2 weeks. So check out the website. We put the link in the description below. And if you find us useful, like and subscribe.